Man, our defense is legit.
And he's loose!
Hey guys, what's up? JZ back here again with another Vikings game review. And now let's talk about the Falcons game. So let's start off with the game recap. So starting off, our first quarter, first drive. We got a first down.
And on first down, they'll fake the run. Gonna toss it near side, get it out to Diggs. Stephon Diggs makes a move, has a...
We received the kickoff, then we have to punt on the Falcons' first drive. Jones drops the first pass, it was a slant. Our run defense is amazing, but a questionable pass interference on McKenzie. I want you to get your thoughts on this one. I thought McKenzie was looking towards the ball, maybe a little too handsy. That's what the announcers pointed out. The whole thing that they're doing announcers the whole game. I wish the announcers let him play. There are tons of flags throughout this game, and it seems like most of them were legit. I just would wish that just let them play. You know, I know it's the rules. You should call them. So it's if they'll call their game. We won anyways. And okay, so that was that. And they pick up a big fourth down.
They back off the blitz. Ryan has time in the flat. Coleman first down and more to Tevin Coleman.
But then to settle for a field goal, which is the big key to this game. Our red zone defense, our within the 30s or so defense was really good. Along Minnesota drive, but we punt. But it's a great punt. We get him out at the 2. He had a really good game, Quigley. Defense forces a 3 and out. Extremely run heavy on our next drive. Running with a big run.
First down. Good cuts. Murray still going. Latavius Murray hurdles a defender. Murray.
And a creative play. We motion jet out into the wide receiver. He catches the pass. Touchdown. Vikings a little dragged underneath. A very clever design.
Top of your screen. 2 touchdowns last week for him. Keenum rolling that way, floating in end zone.
By our offensive coordinator. A long drive for the Falcons.
From the 30, they'll fake the run again. Ryan stands in, lets it rip over the middle.
They settle for field goal. Reese gives up his first sack of the season.
By the way, here's Keenum, pressure, and he's buried.
To punt, Falcons, a nice drive. So they kick a field goal. We try to score before half, but we can't. 76 at half. Our passing game isn't very good at half. This will change. A good drive by the Falcons.
Second and 1. Devontae Freeman first down and more for Devontae Freeman. And
get a field goal. A god awful drive. Illegal 4 passing instead of running. We punt. Keenum was running towards. He could have at least ran for a few yards. And then ran out of bounds. But at least got been at the line of scrimmage. So why even throw the ball away right there? You're at the line of scrimmage. Just run, take a half a foot or so. It's better than throwing the ball away, right? I don't know what he was thinking, but he threw the ball away when he was a couple feet past the line of scrimmage. We get is at 5 yards and loss of downs on the illegal forward pass. It'll be in like a 3rd and 25, and then we have to punt. They punt, very good coverage. Trey Waynes will look very good in this game. Keenum starts to look better.
Much of that today with Keenum. Keenum has time here though, and a lot of it. Now some pressure, standing, looking, delivering, complete. Keenum bought a lot of time, and he's got the completion.
And we get a long drive. Touchdown, Kyle Rudolph.
Keenum looking, lofting, end zone, Rudolph. Touch.
Falcons punt 3 and out. We punt after a chop block drive ruins a drive. Freeman runs well, but then biggest play of the game. I called it in my Vikings game preview. I called it the 1998 rematch, and look what happens. Their stud, superstar kicker pulls a Gary Anderson wide left, no good. All we have to do is run the clock out like we do. We run very well. Big catch by Thielen.
Keenum looking, firing, wide open is Thielen, who breaks free.
And good game. We win 14-19. If you love defense, this is a game for you. And this is all about ever since the Falcons had no idea to run and their red zone offense against our defense. When they have to settle for field goals, we don't give up any touchdowns. We win 10 out of 10 times. Our offense is too good. Our defense is too good as well to be able to have to settle for field goals all the time. And that was the big key to this game. Also, our running game, very consistent. I thought our passing game would have been a lot better. They were down 2 of their starting corners. So I would have thought you would have had more of a vertical passing attack. There's a few times that Case missed a wide open at Thielen deep. but we still had decent numbers overall. I think this is one of those games where stats kind of lie, but let's talk about those stats. And start off with the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and we held him in check very well. He completed 16 passes, 29 attempts for 173 yards, rating of 72.9, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Pretty much neutralized him. When this is a guy that was an MVP last year, and you hold him to under 200 yards, no touchdowns, that's a very good job. I think Matt Ryan did a bunch that he could against our defense. So that's saying a lot. I have to give respect to each party in that one. Running the game. Freeman came back and he was very strong. 12 attempts for 74 yards, a 6.2 average. As long as only 13, he had a few taken away from some holding plays from the Falcons. Coleman was 8 for 22, held him in check, and Gabriel was 1 for 5. Receiving for the Falcons. And here's the big one. Sanu, one of my favorite non-Vikings players in the NFL. 3 receptions for 43 yards along with 17. Shadowed by Trey Waynes for most of the game, and he did a very good job on him. Him and Mackenzie Alexander are doing very good for how young they are. Coleman is second for 27 yards, and you're thinking, where's Julio Jones? Let's go all the way down. It's 2 receptions for 24 yards as long as 13. Julio Jones got blanketed by a man called Xavier Rhodes, the best cornerback in the league. Couldn't do anything all day because Xavier Rhodes is too good. Julio is very good himself, but Xavier is just a little bit better. I love it when Xavier Rhodes gets a legit #1 receiver that he knows he has to cover. He goes from being an okay cornerback to absolutely unbelievable. It's like having Darrell Revis in his prime when he has to be. Otherwise, when it's Marvin Jones, he gets a little bit lazy or something. I'm not really sure, but he's extremely focused about these #1 receivers, and he always comes through to shut them down the last couple of years. Tolio at 2 for 25, Hooper 3 for 21, and Hall 1 for 20. Defensively, Neal was all over the place. Allen had 10. They both had 10 tackles on the day. A sack for McKinley and a sack for Jarrett. 2 sacks. Really a lot for what the Vikings have been doing this year. I think Keenum's only been sacked like 3 times or something this year, so that's a lot for what the Vikings are used to. But hey, it's gonna happen every now and again. This is a very solid defense, so it'll happen every now and again, right? All right. So the big thing, Bryant 3 for 4 on field goals. Even if he makes that last field goal, we still win score-wise. That could give him enough momentum to make a stop on defense. We punt all of a sudden the ball game, right? But there we have their stats. Let's go to the winning Minnesota Vikings. So what you guys all came here and loved. Case Keenum, 25 for 30, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, rating of 120.4. Perfect in the second half, 13 for 13. Kind of a great performance, but you could think, not a lot of deep throws, right? A lot of little checkdowns, a lot of screens, a few too many screens, a lot of runs up the middle. A somewhat predictable playbook. I don't know why we weren't attacking more of those deep outs or any deep balls, really. Just get those bad corners and man coverage and take advantage of it. So I don't know if it was kind of a poor play day by Shermer, but Keenum number-wise looks phenomenal. But I think this is one of those times where numbers do kind of lie. But nevertheless, the numbers were spectacular, so I'll give him a shout out for that. But hey, take it with a grain of salt. Running game, I love what Latavius Murray has been doing lately. 16 attempts, 76 yards, a 4.8 average, 30 long. I think Jerick McKinnon has cemented himself as the #2 back. 9 attempts for 24 yards, a 2.7 average, as long as 7. Diggs had a little jet sweep for 5 yards. That's about it. Receiving, probably the lowest receiving day all season for Adam Thielen. 4 for 51, as long as 22. And 3 of those receptions came in the second half. He only had 1 reception in the first half and garbage time pretty much on that last drive where it wasn't going to do anything anyways. It was a play in the middle of the field where, yeah, it was a nice game. Now go to the clubhouse because it's half's over, right? Fantasy owners were happy. Kyle Rudolph, 4 for 36, 1 touchdown, 16 was his long. The man showed what he has to do. He's great on play action, great in the red zone. That's Kyle Rudolph's game. Diggs, another guy I wish I would have had a bigger game. 2 for 32. McKinnon was our leading receiver, 5 for 28. So many little screens and little short passes that weren't really working out. I don't know why we kept going to it so often. When they have 2 corners hurt, why not expand the field, throw it deep to our great wide receivers? But hey, I'm not the one calling the shots. Latavius Murray had a decent receiving game, 3 for 21. Floyd was involved for 2 for 20. Jarius Wright, 3 for 18. All he does is catch first downs, boys. CJ Ham, 1 for 12. And Laquan gets his catch of the week for 9 yards. Eric Kendricks leading the team in tackles again, 10 tackles, 1 pass defense. He had a very good game. No sacks on the day. I know Everson Griffin was in his face a lot, but again, no sacks on the day for Everson, no sacks on the day for anybody. So much for that. Kai Forbath was 2 for 2 on PATs. Wiggly had 5 punts. They're all very solid. Sherrills did his thing returning kicks. So overall, our defense showed that it's elite. Absolutely should not be questioned as an elite top-tier defense in the NFL, shutting down every top receiver that we have had to come across, except for, unless you want to say, Matavius Bryant, kind of up there. He torched us a little bit, but he typically was a matchup on Newman. Our defense is too good. The other teams don't know how to compensate for how good Xavier Rhodes is, even when they try to hide their receiver in the slot. Xavier will follow you wherever you go, so nowhere you can hide from the X-Man. Whatever they try to do, Xavier's there. Even our backup guy, if you get us in a weird situation, we'll find ways to make it so you can't make those completions. Our defense is too good. Our offense can be sloppy at times, but this season has been the best season since like 2009 for our offense. So it's too much balance of a team, right? It's not last year was all defense. And hey, offense, well, just give us like 17 points or so, we'll try to win. But no, it's our offense can win games, our defense can win games. Try to stop us. I'm very excited for this, what this season has to come. So there we have it. If you're new, just make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next Vikings video. See ya.